With the help of everyone here today, on November 5th, we're going to bring back our country, and we're going to bring it to levels of greatness that nobody actually thought even possible. So we're going to do that. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. I believe that because we are in a country right now that's in serious decline, and we're not going to let the country decline. We're in a failing country. We're in a country that's being laughed at all over the world by other leaders. They laugh at our leaders. We're not going to let that happen anymore. That didn't happen 4 years ago. So while we're running a campaign of solutions to save America, and America which they have virtually destroyed during their almost 4-year period of rule, Kamala Harris, a very low IQ individual, is running a campaign of hate, anger, and retribution. She spends all of her time complaining about everything, but does nothing about it. She talks about the border, but why didn't she do it 3.5 years ago? She talks about all these things. We're going to help the environment. Why didn't she do it? We had the best environment. By the way, we had the cleanest water and the cleanest air at any time in recorded history. She talks about what she's going to do about inflation, which has destroyed our senior citizens and our middle class, what they've done. You know, I had no inflation, and we had the best economy in history. That's a nice combination. But she did nothing about it, or what she's going to get. She's going to talk about how she's going to get the economy going. Oh, I watched her last night. I watched her. Oh, I'm going to get. She didn't say anything. She said, I'm going to get the economy, but she didn't say how. I said how. I said, we're going to bring companies in. We're going to protect those companies. They're going to take advantage of all of the things that we're doing. They're going to hire people at numbers that you wouldn't even believe. We're going to have hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of companies coming in to our country. And I will use a thing called the most beautiful word to me ever. Not quite, well, let me say this. How about third? Let's put religion number 1 and love number 2. And then we'll put the word tariff number 3. Tariff.
Special conversation on NDTV with Dr. Salman Akhtar, who's a world-renowned psychiatrist, author of 113 books, someone who has seen US politics for over 50 years, and someone who also writes on a variety of issues. Thank you so much, Dr. Akhtar, for speaking to NDTV. I'm going to come to your book that you've written in just a bit, but let me start by asking you that we're in Pennsylvania. a state that is considered to be pretty much decisive when it comes to the US election results. How do you view the election right now, the issues on which the Indian Americans are set to vote, and most importantly, the American politics right now as it stands?
Let me answer your comment or respond to it in reverse order. One about the current American politics. I've been in this country now 51 years, and I've never seen and never experienced this country as so divided socially, politically, and such. The country is actually really, really divided, and very strongly in terms of ideology, in terms of feelings, in terms of sense of identity, belonging, philosophy of life, attitude towards minorities, etc., etc. So it's a very strongly emotional election. All elections are emotional. All elections are fundamentally divisive because they say elect A or elect B.
Right.
But those divisions are ideational. Now the divisions are powerfully emotional and almost vitriolic and potentially violent. So it's a very, very powerful and significant moment in American politics.
If he were to lose again, what would that mean for the country in your estimation?
We'd have an uprising. There's too many people that are ready to go now.
When you say, what does that mean? Can you be specific?
Civil war. Civil war.
America is propped up. We act like America is not falling, but you got to look at like, where's America thriving? Like we got some tech. Beyond that, American people are in a terrible position. Health-wise, mental health-wise, America is more divided than it's ever been ever. Even like subgroups are divided amongst themselves.
Is it more divided than when they was having dogs sicked on people in 1960 fighting for civil rights? Like America's always been divided.
It's more divided now because even amongst black people, we're more divided than ever. And even white people, like there was more collective agreement on racism amongst white people than it is today.
You think it'll be a civil war if Trump loses again?
Oh yes, I do. I know with people that I talk to, I'm a churchgoer and I love God more than my life. But there are things that I do for God that I don't do for anybody else. And this is one thing I know that God needs some help here. You know, actually my first election that I've been to was Donald Trump. And
When you say your first election you've been to, you never voted before that, or?
I voted, but I never got into it. Now, you know, I can spend just all waking moments thinking what I need to do. And of course I can't afford a whole bunch of money, but I can sure talk.
No, I had somebody tell me that they would take a bullet for Donald Trump.
I think I would too, because I'm not that young. If I was young, I'd never say that. But I would too. I mean,
We don't want to lose your wisdom to that.
but I don't know what it is about him. He's got that charisma, says it like it is, never backs down. He never says anything that he shouldn't.
Do you want to take that one back?
I know you've heard it, but I never hear those things.
If President Trump were to lose, what would that mean for you and for the country?
Doom. I mean, something's got to change. This administration now is not for this country. They're for every country except us. Yeah, so there's got to be a change somewhere. The administration is there now. We don't have a chance. I mean, we really don't.
If he were to lose again, what would that mean for you? What would that mean for the country?
I hate to think what it would mean for the country. 3.5 years that we've experienced so far are terrible, and I just think it would be that on steroids.
Should Donald Trump lose again, what would it mean to you personally, and what do you think it would mean for the country?
Well, it would be very disappointing. I think, Personally, I think look at the turnout here. Look at at his opponent and the turnout that you see for him. That doesn't add up. It's pretty much pretty clear that he has support. The other guy doesn't. The other guy, in fact, I think they cheated.
Bill Clinton, back in 2020.
Bill Clinton supports rape.
Well,
Sorry.
going back to that election, you think it was stolen?
I was definitely stolen. No doubt about it.
Well, there's some doubt, right? Because President Biden's the president now, and 60 courts said it wasn't, and here we are.
Those were procedural dismissals.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think, many affidavits, they keep saying there's no evidence. The definition of an affidavit is evidence. The word evidence appears in that definition. So to dismiss all of that evidence, and they do it all the time. So it's absurd that the media, mainstream media, not all media, but much of the media is playing along.
I have thick skin. You can come after whoever.
They're hiding and suppressing news. You have the government involved in censorship, government censorship, using media as a proxy for that. It's absurd, and people see that. We're tired of it. I just don't believe that there are that many Democrat voters out there. You're trying to tell me Joe Biden got the most votes in history? Look at what was happening there. Very shady stuff. We already talked about the evidence that they're saying is not evidence, and it's the same thing with Biden's, with his financial dealings, saying no evidence, no suspicious bank activity, suspicious reports, the checks. There's plenty of evidence. That's like mainstream media just won't talk about it. They're hiding it.
We have, God. God is trying to help America. And the man for the mission is Trump, so we need to follow Trump.
But what if Trump were to lose? What would that mean? That didn't work out, or what would it mean for the country?
Well, God has his plan, and God knows everything. If that happens, it means suffering for the people. And I don't think God wants that at this point in time. I think that most of America is a faithful people. America is actually following Christ more than we think. And I think that God knows this.
Do you think America should be an exclusively Christian country?
Yes, but I think that it should be a Christian country.
And let's say we became a Christian country. What would you say to your Jewish friends and neighbors?
Well, I think that the base of this nation was Christianity, and they know that, just like Israel was the Jewish religion, and we know that, and we love them, and we respect them for how their nation is, and they respect us for how our nation is run. And I think that, both nations are very, very close, commandments-wise and everything. I think that the right path is to keep America a Christ-like America.
But we have a separation of church and state in this country.
There is separation, but not in the Constitution. The Constitution was based on our Heavenly Father.
I don't think they use those words, though, right?
Not those words, but the men that did the job of writing the Constitution, they were very faithful men.
And we're standing in Virginia. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Articles of Religious Freedom, that everybody here is free to worship whomever they please. Do you think we should teach the Bible in public school?
Yes, I do. I do believe that. I believe that it brings a spirit of America, and that it helps the children.
There's now a GoFundMe for him that was started by this couple. Do you think that people like average Joes working every day like you and me and most of the people out here should be giving money to a billionaire's legal defense fund?
Sure. I mean, he's going to need it, and that judgment against him is outrageous. What they should have done is go after Biden and all the crime and his family's done and what he's done to us as American people. And I know my bank account, I surely don't have the money, and it was there before under President Trump.
How do you feel in general about a billionaire having a GoFundMe?
I mean, people can do what they want to do in support of the president, but I mean, I guess it is a little strange, but at the same time, if they're doing what they think is right to help support the president, especially because a lot of these indictments and charges are completely ridiculous and unfounded, then why not? I don't see a problem with it.
He's a billionaire. Do you think there should be a GoFundMe for the former president?
I'm probably not going to contribute to his GoFundMe, but I do respect the man that, he gave up his salary while he was in the presidency. Haven't seen anybody else do that.
What is it that you love so much about Donald Trump?
Just his policies, the economy, everything was much better under Trump.
But the pandemic, I mean, don't you blame the pandemic a little bit for the economy?
No, I blame China.
You blame China?
Yes, sir.
Way to go, Trump.
You blame China for
the COVID pandemic? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I'm saying, don't you, the hit on the economy, don't you blame that on the pandemic a little bit?
Maybe a little, but, shutting down pipelines and coal and, I contribute that to it, and that's where I'm from.
And what is it that you like so much about him?
Honestly, because he gives results.
What results from his first term were you pleased with?
So I actually had a lot more money in my pocket when he was president. So that's important to me. I need to be able to provide for my family. I was able to do that much better under President Trump.
Your financial struggles, do you blame the pandemic for that as well?
No, I don't put any of that on the pandemic. I just think that the president we have now isn't showing good results. That's what it comes down to.
Wow.
This is my mother.
right now.
Wow.
Why is it defending you? It's not defending me. All right, then shut the hell up and let me vote.
Okay, Jamie. Okay, we ain't got nothing else to say. We ain't got nothing else to say.
Wow.
Next in line.
Okay, what? There it is right there.
No.
Wow. Oh, wow, God. Oh.
Don't do that.
Wow. 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 I might want to help with him. I may want to help with him.
And this last name is Stillinger. White male, blue shirt, blue jeans, cursing, assaulted an employee of the state. He is Mr. Stillinger.
Wow.
Last name Stillinger.
Wow.
No, we're not wrong. We just told you he is still here. He is still handcuffed.
Wow.
That's all we told you.
Wow.
So where's Limestone?
In Woodstock, Illinois, they know all about the cycle of repetition. This is the small town where the movie Groundhog Day was filmed. But the political monotony is now shattered by the sudden entrance of Kamala Harris into the 2024 election race. For many, though, she is an elusive candidate.
I want to hear what she's going to do. What's going to be different than what's already been done.
Matt owns a shop selling model trains and doesn't know who he'll vote for in November.
It's tough to make a decision on something that you were thinking one way, and now you have to switch your gears because it's a whole new person.
Will you look at policies as well as personalities?
Always, especially things that affect small business. The big problem is you don't totally know her policies yet.
McHenry County is a community shaped by the railroads. It voted narrowly for Trump in 2020. He seemed to be careering to victory until the gears shifted in this race last month. Now the momentum is clearly with Harris.
She's smart, and I believe she's going to win. Very excited about this. She just has that energy and that enthusiasm, and there's a difference from being 80 to 60. There just is.
All right, careful, careful.
Harris has also improved polling among people of colour.
Look at mommy.
But with her pro-choice stance, she'll struggle to win over evangelical Christians like Latasha.
I go based on the Bible, and I value life.
You're not going to vote for Kamala then just because she's a woman?
Oh, no. No, because you could be wrong. You could be not good for the job.
In nearby Island Lake, they're celebrating the annual Corn Fest. But as quickly as the winner of the eating contest is crowned, the deep divisions in this community are exposed.
She's not a good candidate at all. She's frankly dumb as a stump. She's not very bright. You see her do her word salads and she just can't articulate a thought.
Who do you think's going to be in the White House in January?
I truly believe Trump will be there. I really do. I really do.
You think the same?
Yeah, if it's not, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the last great hope.
And look, she's going to fall apart. She doesn't have the back. She's a woman. She's a woman. She's a woman. She's a woman.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to deal with that shit.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
And if she becomes, I almost wanted to become president to see what a royal fuck up she can be, I can blame it on the black woman.
Yeah.
And they're gonna look at the black woman. And I've been making tapes of videos. If she becomes the president, the good old boys, they're gonna do something. They're gonna do something, man. Them Republicans got guns, something that you Democrats don't got. A very few you have.
Yeah. So
shit's gonna happen, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I and I think she will destroy it.
Civil war, there'd be a revolution.
You think that'd be if he's not in or if he is in?
I guarantee if they steal it, there'd be a revolution. We the people own plenty of firearms. There's more gun owners than enlisted servicemen, and they are not going to go against patriots. I don't care what color camouflage comes after me. If you're going to try to put me in a detention camp or try to re-educate me, I'll kill you.
I just think what you're saying about the potential for people taking arms and being violent, I mean, that's quite scary.
This is the holy war in the United States. We're fighting for God by voting for Trump.